Welcome back, everybody, to Rock Resurgence Radio. My name is Chad, the host.
And I'm your co-host, Bergy.
Hey, what are you guys doing? Guess what day it is?
It's Hump Day.
It is Hump Day.
Mike.
I love it.
Day.
Hump Day.
Yeah.
So it is Hump Day, and we got another edition of Hump Day Headbangers. And that's where we each pick a couple songs for you to bang your fucking head to.
Yep, and something else we do on Hump Day Headbangers is we talk about our Friday episode coming up. So coming up on this Friday, we have an episode with our dear friend Patrick Reeves, and we're going to have the Warrant Top 30 Countdown.
Yes, sir. That's going to be a great episode. It was a fun episode
Very
to do.
fun.
It was a long episode, but it was so filled with nuggets and knowledge from Patrick. He has so much information on Warrant.
He's a musical genius.
He's a musical genius. What is that from?
That's Eddie. Is it Coming to America?
Oh,
I think.
okay.
Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, I knew it was Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it's when he plays 7 or 8 different characters in there.
Yeah. So.
Boy, it's good.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. He's a musical genius.
Yeah, that's great. So, anyways, so we got that coming up.
Yeah, and just full of knowledge, that guy.
Yeah, it was. It was such a fun episode to shoot because, we do this. We have some knowledge, but there's guys out there like Patrick and Guru and Brian and Patrick. What's his name up in Canada?
Jason Reed.
Jason.
Yeah.
Up in Canada, they got so goddamn much knowledge. It makes us look like idiots. But
yeah, those guys are full of useless knowledge for sure.
Yeah, we are. We do this more for fun, and those guys are trying to teach.
Yeah, we are idiots sometimes.
We are pretty much idiots. But
yeah,
you know what?
We did the draft, and that was fun. So
it was cool. Yeah.
We kind of screwed up, but you'll see.
Screwed up a little bit in the draft order. That was me, I think, that did that.
Yeah.
But it was fun regardless. So check that out on Friday. Yeah. I'm going to start off here with my band. This is a band I just ran into recently when I heard a cover of Rock You Like a Hurricane that I've never heard before. I was like, holy shit. That was really fucking cool.
Okay.
And the band is called All for Metal. Now, if you guys know of Manowar, they're similar. They're like the New Day Manowar. They talk about
modern day Manowar.
Yep, they're kind of talk about the same stuff, medieval times and
Norse mythology,
Valhalla, Loki, Thor, stuff like that. So pretty interesting band. They got a guy, they're a little heavier. They got a guy that sings really low, like he's got like baritone voice. I think it's called baritone. Baby. Yeah, like really low. And then they have a guy who sings really high, and they put it together really well. And so they did a cover of Rock You Like a Hurricane by the Scorpions, and I like covers when they're done differently than, and they take the song and make it their own, and that's exactly what they did, and it fucking rocks big time. So that is the first song I picked by them.
Confession.
Yep.
I've never heard it.
I think I sent it to you.
You probably did, but I didn't listen to it.
Oh my god, it's so cool. And then all their stuff has come out within the last year or two, like 24, 25. So they have an album called Year of the Dragon. The second song I picked is, if you go onto YouTube, I think it's their most popular song. It's called Gods of Metal.
Okay.
And it is just a rocker, bang your head, kick-ass song that, all their stuff is kind of like that. But it's just something I want you guys to, open up your ears and open up your minds and just kind of give it a chance and give it a listen, see what you think. If you don't like it, it's no big deal. It's, it's a couple minutes out of your time, but give them, Rock You Like a Hurricane. So just listen to that at least. Give it a chance because it's so different. It's really fucking cool. So give it a chance.
Yeah, when you sent it to me, I don't think you sent me the songs. Maybe you did.
I sent you the names of the
songs. But you sent me the names of them, and I went and looked the guys up, and they have a website.
Oh, yeah,
and
I was going to...
And yeah, go ahead and talk about that if you find it.
Yep, I was going to say, it says, when the mission is so clear, one must express this unmistakably. And so, under the banner of All for Metal, the metal enthusiasts Tetzel and Antonio Calana join forces. Both are united by their love of classic heavy metal sounds and a common vision to bring them to a new generation of music fans. With great, compact, catchy songs and a dedicated, highly professional production team behind them, All for Metal unleash anthemic, straightforward metal that has international class. It says, we grew up with bands like Manowar. At those concerts, the audience is overwhelmed by energy, says Tetzel. That's where strangers are in each other's arms and fervently belting out the songs. This invisible bond, this connection, is created through the music alone. His vocal counterpart, Antonio, adds, I've only experienced such a sense of community in the metal scene. With All for Metal, we want to help pass it on and let as many music fans as possible share in it. And that just kind of brings me back to the whole thing. You know, like why I like talking about this stuff is because we're all one big freaking family, and we can rally around this thing we call music. And that's part of the love I have for doing this kind of stuff. I can pass on these bands and maybe get somebody else into their metal and you know, just keep it burning, because, you know, I don't know how many times we've heard rock is dead, rock is dead. Well, it's not dead. It's out there. It's just waiting to be heard. So let's get it out there.
Yeah. So when I went to the website, I read that, and I kind of just played around on there, and I looked at a few things, and I'm like, I bet you, I didn't listen to any, but I read some of the song titles, All for Metal, Raise Your Hammer, Fury of the Gods, Gods of Metal. My brain went like this. This stuff's going to be too hard for me. I'm probably not going to like it. And then, you know, one of the songs you sent was Rock You Like a Hurricane cover. And I'm like, well, maybe they're not all that hard if they're doing Rock You Like a Hurricane covers. Right. Are they pretty hard?
They're pretty heavy, but it's melodic heavy kind of.
Okay. So then I probably would like it better. So when I think hard and heavy,
it's not Pantera.
My old coworker that I used to deliver pizza with is in a band, and he's a singer and guitar player in a band called Ghost Bath.
Yeah, I know those guys are really heavy and like death metal.
And
yeah, it's not like that at all.
It's not like that at all.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And that's, I don't know. I mean, that's to each his own. Check out my buddy's Ghost Bath on Spotify for sure.
Yeah, and speaking of that, my boss is in a band called Vendetta Spoken out of Bismarck.
Yeah.
They have an album, and it's really heavy, aggressive music also. So go check them out.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Sorry, Dennis, but it's not my thing, really.
No, it's
but somebody, I can see why people like it, and I feel like he's very talented. But it's just not my.
It's like jam. Black coffee.
Yeah, either you like it or you got to put some cream and sugar in it.
Yeah, I like my metal with a little cream and sugar.
Yeah, I do too. As you know from some of my pussy ballad picks or pussy song picks in our 80s series that we're doing.
Yep. Okay, what's 2 songs you got, buddy?
Well, so I tried to piggyback off of it. You know, I read that they were, and actually it was their website, but I Googled All for Metal, and I'm going to do it again right now. When I did it this time, it just took me straight to their website. I'm just going to Google it. But one of the things that popped up below, underneath their official website, there's All for Metal Encyclopedia Metallum, which is like the metal archives, it says. And so when I click on it, there's all this. This is where I saw them, and I'm like, they're going to be too hard for me. They're from Germany, Italy. Does that sound right, Chad?
Yep.
Their genre is heavy metal. So when I think of heavy metal, I think of bands like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden. And
similar to that.
And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. And then it says themes, Norse mythology, war, heavy metal. So I'm like, okay. So when I wanted to piggyback on your picks, this is Hump Day Headbangers. Sometimes my headbangers are a little on the softer side. We already kind of joked about that a little bit. But I went for the Norse mythology with my first pick and kind of with my second pick. But when I think of Norse mythology, I think of Thor, and I think of the Avengers, like the comic book movies.
Yep.
Is it
Marvel.
DC? Oh, Marvel.
Yep.
Okay, right. And I think of Thor's hammer. So the first song I picked the first song that came to my head for Hammer is Hammer to Fall by Queen. And if you have not seen this, do yourself a favor and go and just Google Queen Live Aid. I think it's 1985. If you've seen the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, I recommend it. But better than that, I recommend going and just watching that 21-minute video of Queen playing at Wembley Stadium and for Live Aid. Hammer to Fall is one of the songs in that set list. So they open with they play 6 songs. It's only 21 minutes long, and it's just epic. And so everybody's seen when Freddie does the Ayo, and he holds the mic to the crowd, and everybody says Ayo, and he does a couple of different runs with his voice. Yep. And I don't know if you've seen. Have you ever been to one of the local the Minotauros hockey games?
Huh.
No, but they have on their big screen. They do that with it's a gopher at the top of the hill. You've seen that. I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
And the gopher's doing it.
Yeah.
And the crowd's doing it. But so right after the Aos, they kick into Hammer to Fall, and it's just a great song. I like Queen a lot. I always have liked Queen. I have a bunch of their stuff, and some of their stuff, like, when you think about Queen as a casual Queen fan, you probably think of We Are the Champions and We Will Rock You and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Another One Bites the Dust.
Another One Bites the Dust and Radio Gaga. But they also have songs like Stone Cold Crazy, that Metallica covered. And that's a really hard tune. And Tie Your Mother Down, that Lynch Mob covered. Yep. Speaking of covers, like Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Yep.
That you talked about. And they're both of those covers are pretty decent, but they have a very large catalog. I'd say check Queen out and check out the song Hammer to Fall. It's right in the middle of that set. If you Google that video, watch it. If you haven't seen it, it's worth it. So that's my first one.
Okay. Good pick.
My second one, I just kind of went through and looking through my Apple Music artists and whatnot, and I'm like, so maybe this doesn't have nothing to do with Norse mythology, but I guess my tie into it is the band is Killer Dwarfs, and the song I picked is Doesn't Matter. It's kind of a ballady song, and it's off their album Dirty Weapons from 92, I think that came out. I gotta look real quick. Dirty Weapons. 1990. Sorry. Yeah, 1990. So it's like their 4th studio album. The Killer Dwarfs. They're one of those bands that. So I guess my tie into the mythology so I had big old Thor with the big hammer, and then I'm like, Killer Dwarfs, just the little guys. So the little guys got to have a piece of the action on Hump Day Headbangers today. Cool. So I never really got into them when they first came out. They're a Canadian band. So they got that. They came out in the early 80s. I always just hated the name. I thought that was a terrible name for a band. I think they were trying to be funny, and they all took the surname Dwarf. So like the singer, Russ Graham, I think he went by Russell Dwarf. And I don't know if that's correct or not, but they all... It was kind of a shtick they had. And I don't think, if I remember right, there was something about it. One of the guys, and maybe it is Russ, the singer, was a really short guy. But none of them are actual dwarfs or little people or midgets or whatever they're called.
Midgets not good.
I don't know what the politically correct term is, and I apologize.
I think it's little people, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Killer Dwarfs, so the song doesn't matter. It's a really good song. It's kind of, like I said, ballady. It's got a good message to it. Some of the vocals in there are kind of, I mean, it sounds very 80s, maybe even a little on the corny side, but like I said, I was turned off by the name of the band from the very start. I think I saw them on Headbangers Ball at one time, and maybe this was one of the songs that was on Headbangers Ball. Never got into them. One day, and it's probably, and I don't know, it wasn't something that Chad sent me, but, you know, like when you talk about your Chad's radio station on Apple Music and songs just pop up.
Yep.
It was one of those kind of things. I'm like, man, that's a pretty cool song. Who is it? Oh, Killer Dwarfs? No shit, huh? Like I didn't remember it from 1990.
Right.
But it was probably, to be fair, it was probably 2001, 2002 or something, like I mentioned before, when hair metal kind of died. 95, 96, 98, whatever, around that time frame. I was searching for old hair metal, but I was also searching for, there's got to be some new hair metal.
Right.
And there was a lot of stuff going on in Sweden with, you know, Reckless Love and Crazy Licks and those type of bands coming out. But I went back to Killer Dwarfs and, that album, and I have the other album I have from them is Big Deal, I think is the name of it. Dirty Weapons and Big Deal are the two albums that I have. And maybe I've heard Method to the Madness too, but their first album was self-titled, came out in 83. Then they had Stand Tall, great name, Killer Dwarfs, Stand Tall.
That is funny.
And then Big Deal, Dirty Weapons, Method to the Madness. And Start at One was released, it says, in 2013. But yeah, Canadian hard rock band, formed in 81 in Ontario. If you haven't heard them, check them out. They have a couple of good albums, I think, and quite a few good songs. So
cool.
Yeah.
Good picks. Okay, so that is our episode, Hump Day Headbangers. I hope you enjoy. I hope you go out and listen to or get a couple new songs in your library, and I hope you enjoy them. Give them a shot. We did.
Yeah, happy Hump Day.
Yeah, so with that, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed our content. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. We'd greatly appreciate it. Links to everything we discussed will be included in episode notes. Feel free to check those out as well. Until next time, stay golden, Pony Boy, and rock on.